Hello, and welcome to the latest episode of In Medicare News. Today is, what is today? Today is Monday, July 23rd, 2018. Bit of news I have today comes from Congress. We don't usually get too much of those, and this is actually something I was directed to this particular congressperson's website from some of the various news articles I follow. This is so fresh that it doesn't even have a bill number yet, but one of the congressmen, Representative Sandy Levin, he is a Democrat from Michigan and the ranking member of the House Ways and Means Health Subcommittee, introduced a new bill today. It is called the Medigap Consumer Protection Act of 2018. Now, this is actually the sort of thing I actually kind of love because I love reading through bills. It's, call me a geek if you want, or a nerd, or whatever, but it's kind of a hobby of mine. A lot of it is because this is the stuff that affects your life, and by extension, it affects my business as a result. So I kind of want to be informed on this as best I can in all ways. The thing that is most interesting about this is that it ties into many of the things that I talk about. If you go to my website and you look at it and watch some of the educational videos there, mymedicareinsider.com, you will actually find a great deal of information about the deficiencies and the advantages of Medicare supplements, and this bill actually looks to fundamentally change some of them. Now, like I said, it was just introduced. It doesn't even have a House bill number yet, so you can't look it up by anything except the name of the plan, or the congressman himself. The name of the plan is the Medigap Consumer Protection Act of 2018. And I've got, basically, they've issued a summary notice of it. They also issued the text of the bill. So I went through this. Incidentally, if you don't already know this, Medigap is the government's term for Medicare supplement. Medicare supplement, the government, when you see a book put out by the government called Choosing a Medigap Policy, it basically means choosing a Medicare supplement policy. So here's what this bill is doing. It looks like it's doing about 6 different things. And I'm going to go over each of those things, but let me highlight what each of them are. It aims to change guaranteed issue rules so that people can get a Medicare supplement with no questions asked. I'll get back to that in a moment. It aims to change the medical loss ratio on Medicare supplements, which I'm not going to talk too much about. The medical loss ratio, it basically is how many dollars an insurance company, for every dollar that the insurance company takes in, how many cents it must pay out. It right now varies. It's about 65, 70, even 80 cents in some states, but the states are setting it. This wants to federalize the medical loss ratio. Aside from that, it actually doesn't have too much of an impact on consumers or anything you need to worry about. Pricing discrimination, I'll go over that a little bit. The Medicare Plan Finder, this one is kind of interesting and probably a good part of the bill. They're looking to change around the section on Medicare.gov, which I actually use a great deal in my business for finding you a plan. It does either a very poor job or no job at all of finding a person a Medicare supplement. This is going to kind of require that Medicare.gov start including Medicare supplements. It aims to change first dollar coverage, I'll talk about that, and broker transparency, which I'll talk about as well. So let's go back and take these one by one. The first one kind of being the most important. And the other thing I want to say, this is a Democratic issue. Republicans, Democrats, At the moment, this is pretty much being hit upon by the Democrats. It's going to go places if the Republicans take it up as well. But at the moment, it is not a bipartisan bill. So guaranteed issue, what this is doing, basically I'll break the text down. The text is basically saying in a nutshell that they want to remove health questions. Now, remember, I'm doing these videos for the benefit of people in the states of Ohio, West Virginia, and Kentucky. If you're in other states, this may not apply the same way. But in Ohio, West Virginia, and Kentucky, you have one opportunity to get a Medicare supplement with no questions asked. That's any Medicare supplement. That opportunity comes within the 12 months period around you turning 65 or getting Medicare Part B, whichever is later. So it's not 3 months before the month of 3 months after. That's for Medicare, Medicare Advantage, and prescription drug plans. A Medicare supplement is 6 months before you start Medicare Part B, and 6 months after you get the opportunity to have a Medicare supplement if that's also the time you're turning 65. Now, after that point is reached, you can still at this moment apply for a Medicare supplement, but they are going to ask you health questions or accept or deny you based on your answers to those questions. So there is a possibility that you could be rejected for a Medicare supplement in the future if your health doesn't allow you to get that particular company's supplement. Does that sound familiar? It should. That's the sort of thing that they changed around in the Affordable Care Act. Like the Affordable Care Act, hate the Affordable Care Act, I don't care. That all didn't apply to Medicare supplements. Health questions were always asked. Now, there's a term in insurance that I'm going to give you that is used, and the term is called adverse selection. And what adverse selection means is that there's a human tendency to not take health insurance until you need to use the health insurance, or to take something significantly cheaper until such time as your health allows you to, or basically says, okay, you're going to need something better. Then you go searching for something better. And the problem is, an insurance company, if they were to allow that to happen, their prices would go up significantly unless there was an incredible influx of people coming into that plan. That's the only way to basically avoid adverse selection, is to have just so many people coming into it that they're not going to have to worry about prices. And the reason why prices become an issue is because if there is nothing stopping you from getting health insurance until the time that you need it, you are going to just get it when you need it. You're going to pay a couple $100. You're going to ask the insurance company to pay out tens of thousands of dollars or even more, but you haven't put, and a lot of other people haven't put in any significant amount of money into the plan, but you're going to be asking for a lot out. Therefore, the insurance companies need to adjust their prices upward so that they can actually afford to pay your claims. Now, that has had an effect you have seen on the Affordable Care Act side of things. By eliminating the health questions, they've also had a great deal of people coming in, although not as many as they needed. It has caused the insurance prices to go up in many places around the United States. If that happens with the Medicare supplement side of things, there is a fear that that same thing can happen. Now, there are some states in this country that actually have guaranteed issue rules, or they'll have guaranteed issue rules at certain times of the year, all of which tends to have a negative effect on prices. It brings the price trend upward. So that's the problem. It always sounds great when you can get somebody in that you can get somebody into a health plan, no questions asked. The thing is, you can get into any kind of health insurance when you turn 65 right now and you're eligible for Medicare. There's tons of options available to you. Medicare supplements seem more appealing to a great number of people. When your health changes, you become sick, the idea that you have no co-insurance or co-pays, or very few, and you can see any doctor, any hospital, anywhere in the United States that takes Medicare, no questions asked. That tends to be a reason to take it. The thing is, people tend to scoff at the premiums. So the ability to go from supplement to supplement, or to go into a supplement right now, people are taking it because there's a potential you may not have that ability to take it later on if you wait too long. However, if you want to take a Medicare supplement at a later point, the venue may be open to you if your health isn't too bad. If you're okay, it's acceptable to move to some companies. You didn't wait too long. That always is a possibility to people. But we do, at the moment, kind of don't agree with the ability to make supplements guaranteed issue for all people at all times, because that is going to eliminate basically stable prices that you have right now. So that's kind of the first and most important thing. The next one I'm not really going to talk about too much, the medical loss ratio. Insurance companies, they always talk about what percent, how much money an insurance company makes in profit. They never talk about how much money needs to go out. An insurance company can't keep 100 cents on 100 cents made. They have to send out a significant amount. Health insurance traditionally needs to be well over 60 cents. So basically, the government is telling the insurance companies you can't make more than, in this case, they want to change it to where you can't make more than 25 cents on every dollar. And that includes paying their people. The insurance companies have a great many people there who are making way less than their CEO, than their vice presidents who are making six figures. They got a whole lot of people making around from the janitors to the people who answer the phone to the people that actually process the mail and cash the checks. Those are guys, they're making what you're making, or they're making less than you're making. Those are the guys, they get paid on that 25 cents on the dollar. So they're the ones who really get hurt. I really don't think that it's a good idea that they do that, but that's something that's part of the bill. Pricing discrimination. Let me explain what that is. Right now, Medicare supplements can price based on three different ways. They can price a supplement based on attained age, which is the most popular way. They can price on community ratings. They can price on issue ratings. Here's what that means. Attained age means everybody at age 65 pays this price. The moment you turn age 66, you pay a different price. The moment you turn age 73, you pay a different price than when you were paying it at 72. Most Medicare supplements around the United States charge by attained age. There are some states that don't allow it. The majority of states do. The reason why? It's cheaper. A 65-year-old is going to have less costs than a 75-year-old. So as a result, the 65-year-old as a whole group generally pays less money than the 75-year-old. They price them that way. Yeah, it sucks. You have a birthday, you have a price increase on your Medicare supplement, but at the same time, it's one of the things that a company can do to make the prices palatable. Now, this bill wants to eliminate attained age supplements, which brings you to the two other options that you've got. You've got community age rating and issue age rating. Here's what they mean. Community age rating means every person of every age that comes into a supplement pays the same price. You're age 65, you're going to pay this price. Age 95, you're going to pay the exact same price. Now here's the issue with that. It's the same issue as with attained age supplements. A 65-year-old is going to have less claims than a 95-year-old, but the 65-year-old is going to have to share in proportionally the same risk. that is going to raise the price. There's only one notable company around the United States that uses community-rated prices. In some states, they're fairly reasonable in price. It doesn't work in most companies' cases just because you really need to have an extraordinarily large community to have a community-rated supplement work or a community price supplement work. This company does. Most of them will not. There is a third type of supplement. I'm actually not familiar with any in the states I work in anymore, but I know that it is a law that it exists in some states. So I don't know too much about it, so I'm not going to speak too much. And that's issue age. Now, an issue age rated supplement is kind of like what life insurance is. Life insurance is issue age rated. It means that the price is going to be the price. When you have a birthday, it's no longer going to go up in price. Now, that doesn't mean it's not going to go up in price. It just means that everybody that got in at the same age that you got in other words, if you got in at age 65, you're the age 65 group, you're the age 65 price. If it's 2 years later, you're now the age 65 group plus 2. You're going to have the price increase, but when you have a birthday, you won't have a birthday increase. That also kind of bumps up the price a little bit. But in terms of how that's going to affect the overall cost of a Medicare supplement, I can't speak to it. I really don't have any kind of experience with an issue age rated supplement. I know community rated supplements, they tend to start off higher. They're much more expensive for a 65-year-old, but then again, they're also cheaper for a 95-year-old. So it does kind of balance itself out. Attained age, very cheap for the 65-year-old. It seems to stay that way. It seems to kind of go up for a 95-year-old, but they can also kind of go a little bit in either direction. Next, the Medicare Plan Finder. Here's what it says. It requires Secretary of Health and Human Services to conduct a comprehensive overhaul of the Plan Finder website to ensure that beneficiaries have access to complete and understandable information when comparing Medicare enrollment options. This will ensure that consumers are fully informed of the trade-offs between coverage options, including differences in out-of-pocket costs and Medicare Advantage provider networks. It doesn't sound like they're doing much in terms of the Medicare supplement. However, they may be doing a little bit there. And basically what this is trying to do is tell you that, look, they want a little bit more information there for Medicare Advantage. Hopefully they're going to add in Medicare supplements to that as well. I kind of hope that that part happens. The Medicare Plan Finder is an incredibly useful tool. I use it. My clients, you can use it. Anybody can use this. It is public information. It is incredibly hard to understand, and if you don't know what it is you're looking at, it is incredibly misleading. I support trying to figure this part out 100%. It needs to be done. Next part, first dollar coverage. Yeah, this one I kind of agree with a great deal. They want to restore access to the Medicare supplement policies C and F. Medicare supplement plans C and F are going to not be available for people getting Medicare for the first time beginning in January 2020. If you have a Medicare supplement plan C or F before then, you can keep it. If you were on Medicare before January 1, 2020, you were able to purchase a supplement back then, you are still able to get a Medicare supplement plan C or F. It's just new people can't. This bill is aiming to restore it. Hallelujah, I hope that happens. And then broker transparency requires issuers to disclose payments made to Medigap brokers and agents. This information will be publicly available to consumers on the Open Payments website created by the Affordable Care Act. You know what, guys? If you want to take a look and see how much I get paid to do this, go ahead. You're going to take a look at how much, and you're going to go, these guys are fighting over that much? You really don't get paid a lot per sale. I don't have a whole lot of incentive to sell you a Medicare supplement. I do get paid. Whatever you think I get paid, it's probably not what you're thinking it is. Medicare Advantage, I would get a lot more money if I paid that. In some cases, I would get double the amount of money if I put you in a Medicare Advantage plan than I would in a Medicare supplement. But if you wanted to know my mix of clients, I'd say about 70% of them are in Medicare supplements. Chew on that. Think about that. I don't care. If there wants to be a broker transparency for it, that's fine. You can figure it out. Take a look. You're going to be disappointed. It's not as much as you think. So anyway, this is put out by Representative Sander M. Levin. He is the ranking, I don't know if it's Sander or Sandy. The summary sheet says Sander, and the sheet itself, I guess this one is put out by the guy's website, his own website. He says Sandy. Sandy Levin, a Democrat from Michigan. This is a brand new bill. Am I in support of this? There's a couple of things in here I wouldn't mind seeing. Definitely not the guaranteed issue part of it, for the simple reason that's going to increase your costs. I don't want to see your costs go up. It's hard enough to make an argument for a Medicare supplement right now versus Medicare Advantage if a person is just looking to buy on the lowest premium. There's a lower premium on a Medicare Advantage plan than there is on a Medicare supplement. That being said, your premium buys you something. People take Medicare supplements because they want access to any doctor, any hospital, anywhere in the United States that takes Medicare, and they take a Medicare supplement because they don't want to have to worry about copays. Medicare Advantage, you have networks. It's okay if you know about it. They have copays. They're also okay if you know about it. But when people know about it, they tend to choose the thing with the premium. The premiums, though, are gonna, if the Affordable Care Act is any kind of example as to what's going to happen if you make supplements guaranteed issue for all, they're going to go up tremendously to where the Medicare Advantage plan is actually going to be a better cost consideration. At the moment, it's not, at least not in these states. At the moment, you can make a fair and reasonable argument in both cases. For supplement or Advantage plan. I can make a fair and reasonable argument for both. What that means to you is that I'm going to make the argument for both if you put me in front of you. And what's going to happen is you're going to choose what's right for you based on your personal needs. So everybody has that. But if they change this to where the supplement price really goes up, you might find that this it becomes a lot easier to make a values call for a Medicare Advantage plan. So that part I'm hoping not goes through. Hoping that part gets killed, and it probably will be killed. At least that part of it. Medical loss ratio, I don't know. I'm not a fan of that. I think that's more of a issue between the states. States look to protect their workers. When you've got a home office with thousands of workers in one state, they tend to be a little bit more protective of their workers. And again, I'm not talking about the CEOs. I'm talking about the guys that open your mail and take your phone calls. They're the ones that really get impacted by these medical loss ratio issues. Price discrimination, I'm not entirely sure. I don't really want to see the ending of attained age-rated supplements. I think they're really good. I think they keep the price down. I do understand it. Community-rated supplements for a younger person that's 65, they are costing more right now than an attained age supplement. At 95, it tends to be a little bit of a different story. But we're talking here 20, 30 years before you start seeing parity in those prices, at least in the states that I work in. So it's a pretty, I'm not entirely sure I want to see that. The question of issue age-rated supplements, though, that one I can't answer. So I'm kind of leaving that one down until I find more information. Medicare Plan Finder, absolutely, I'd love to see that. First dollar coverage, I really want to see Plan C and F back. There was no good reason for the previous administration to get rid of Plan C and F to new people. I hope that does come back. It really does need to. And then broker transparency, I don't care one way or the other. So there you have it. That's what's going on. I will keep you informed as more information comes up about Medicare, about this bill, even if it gets a name or a number. Excuse me, it has a name already. But as it stands right now, it's just called the Medigap Consumer Protection Act of 2018. It's been introduced in the House, in committee in the House. It's going to go from that. As it goes on, there's going to be some alterations, some changes. This is what it looks like right now. If there's going to be a call to action, I'm sure you're going to hear about it, both from me and from some other people. But stay tuned. Things are happening. The government is looking at changing, making Medicare supplements, and even making Medicare Advantage and prescription drug plans a little bit better. Sometimes when they do a little bit better, they take a step back, and some other things make it a little bit worse. But we can always hope, talking about it, having a discussion about this is a good way to make sure that better things come out of this stuff. And when it also opens up some worse floodgates, you can actually push them back. This is the time to push it back, just when it starts. At the moment, nothing to push back. Just be aware. Keep it on your radar, and we'll see what happens with it. That's it. Be sure to like, subscribe. More videos here will come out as news comes out. Sorry I haven't had a Q&A video lately. I haven't had a Q&A video lately simply because I haven't had time. Even this is taking a lot of time. I've been incredibly busy. Normally this time of year I'm not as busy as I am right now, but I certainly don't mind being busy. Videos and posting will resume probably in about a month or so as things settle down. But in the meantime, still like, subscribe, follow us on Facebook, check out our website, and of course, if you've got any questions or you want us to talk, see how your situation would fit into anything going on here or anything else when it comes to Medicare, give us a call.